I am a confident holder of crypto right now. When I say I am a very confident holder of crypto. I am not interested even a little bit in selling any of my crypto, not my Bitcoin, obviously not my Bitcoin, not my OG utilities, not my other utilities, and definitely not even my meme coins. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it seems like it's about time for a bit of a chop. Okay. We've been very bullish. Bitcoin a month and a half ago was under $75,000. It's got as high as 112. And I'm seeing some signs that we're not going down, but we have maybe a month or so of a chop, and that's okay. We're just going to build some strength for what I believe will be another move higher. And so before we dive on into this, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification button as well so you don't miss a thing we have from Willy Woo here. I have some good news and maybe some bad news for you. Yeah, let's keep reading this, but I just want to be clear. You'd be a fool to sell. Not financial advice. In my opinion, you'd be a fool to sell. So risk signal is trending downwards, meaning over the broader environment, buy-side liquidity is dominating. Exactly why you wouldn't sell. Okay, buy-side liquidity is dominating, but here's the deal. Short-term holders are taking profits, and they're going to take profits for a little bit, and that's okay. We are setting up for another solid run in the long time frame. I 100% agree with that, unless we saw some COVID 2.0, some black swan event, something like that. Let's move on here. However, the strength of this bullish run from 75 to 112K is starting to break down. I covered this in my last post. This week is absolutely critical. If we do not get follow through, then we will be up for another consolidation period. I have been thinking this, okay, but I saw something from Willy Woo that kind of confirmed my general thought. Here's the deal. I like to keep it simple and look at where we are with Bitcoin right now. We have a daily candle losing the trend line right up at a 4-year level of resistance there. Didn't have enough momentum after all of that time of just climbing and climbing and climbing. And so now we've broken the uptrend. Could this be a fake out to the downside? Could this be a bear trap? It might be. It might be that we just from here move and we go boom, bada bing, bada boom, test that trend line once, and then boom, we're off to the races. But I tend to think it's going to be more like this for the next month, couple months here, something like this. Okay, what is a good picture? I've been thinking about the Aave chart. I think Aave in 2024 is very comparable to what we're going to see again a month or so. So if you don't know, Aave was just killing it. Like everything else was struggling in the second and third quarter of 2024. And Aave was just a beast. And it makes sense because Aave is a fantastic platform for DeFi lending, and they have a ton of TVL, and so their crypto should do well. But if you look at this uptrend that we saw Aave rally on August 12th from $91 up to, what was that? $179, almost a doubling of its position. And then Aave lost this trend line. And then you can see it did a couple of back tests here. It chopped for a bit. 134 was a great entry, but it chopped for a bit, got rejected at the trend line, and then had what looked like maybe a fake out, and then boom, off to the races. And another rejection at the trend line, but look at that. That's a higher high. And so, okay, get rejected at the trend line, and then boom, off to the races. Could we see something like that happen with Bitcoin here over the next month, 2 months? I mean, how long was that with Aave before it broke through? I mean, here's the worst point here, Monday, November 4th, okay, the day before the election, and then went wild and then broke through that trend line much higher to the upside by the end of November. That was after losing the trend line in October. So we're talking about a month of a chop. I would not be surprised if we saw that with Bitcoin coming up here. If this is not a bear trap. If it's a bear trap, let's go. Let's do this. No reason to sell, in my opinion. Not financial advice. No reason to sell. But look at this again. The key words here. Risk signal is trending downwards, meaning the broader environment buy-side liquidity is dominating. And we see plenty of evidence of the broader environment buy side liquidity dominating. Case in point, the spot Bitcoin ETFs, they are accumulating in significant quantities. I mean, all right, $500 million, excuse me, let me back up. $50 million of Bitcoin is mined per day at current prices, about $50 million. And you can see over these last several days here, 8 times the amount of Bitcoin mined per day on May 28th. Almost 8 times the amount of Bitcoin mined on that given day, just from the spot Bitcoin ETFs, 4 times as much. 18 times, almost 19 times as much the amount of Bitcoin mined per day. These short-term holders can do their thing with taking their profits and whatever, profits are profits. You want to take some profits, sure, but we are seeing no signs of this slowing down from an accumulation perspective. And I would even say we're seeing a little bit of a shift to where even normal everyday people are okay DCAing Bitcoin over $100,000. The chances that 112 or the peak, in my opinion, are very, very low. So let's stick with it. Not financial advice. We're going to stick with it. And another thing to point out, and this video is going to be a little bit shorter, by the way, because there's one theme that I want to show you from this video, is that we're in a good position. We're in a very healthy position with Bitcoin right now. And even perhaps even healthier position with altcoins, believe it or not. But Bitcoin long-term holders now hold 15.7 million Bitcoin out of 20 million in circulation. 15.7 million, that's pretty good. Put differently, Bitcoin's most diamond-handed holders have 79% of the total circulating supply. The thing that I want to draw your attention to here is look at these peaks, and then when do we see a dip? We see a dip in long-term holders supply when we see Bitcoin's price spike up really heavily. And so that happened in early 2024. That happened in late 2024. We do, when during bullish times, we just see Bitcoin's long-term holder supply dip really heavily. And now we're getting right back up. We're near there. This is maybe another month, the same deal. We're going to take another month for this to play itself out, where Bitcoin's long-term holder supply is going to round out a little bit here and then take another dip. And we're going to be good to go. I mean, maybe it'll be a little bit more than a month. I mean, I talked about July being a bottom 1.618 retrace that puts us at $100,000, something like that, So again, can you be patient? I know all of you, you're begging for alt season. You just want it now. And even there's a possibility that there's going to be something significant with altcoins short term while we see Bitcoin chop. But I'm sorry, guys. We in crypto, we want everything to happen now, and that's not how it works. And it's been a good month and a half here. Let's be patient. Our time will come. We see from Dark Frost here, weak selling pressure from short-term holder and long-term holder inflows on Binance. Another thing that I would say is a good reason to not be selling your positions right now is this dip. Oh no, we went from $112,000 to 106. We might go down to 102 to 100. The short-term holders are pretty weak. There's selling pressure from short-term holders, the selling pressure from long-term holders. It's pretty weak right now. The bears are in a weak position. That's just reality. The bulls are very much in control if you're willing to broaden your horizons to beyond tomorrow, And so another thing that we can see incentives, lots and lots of incentives to hold. But hey, another thing that's bullish. Here we go. No one is talking about it, but on Friday, FTX is distributing $5 billion of stablecoins to creditors. This liquidity injection could be the catalyst altcoins need to pump. All right, $5 billion. People are going to get $5 billion in stable coins. What are they going to do with those stable coins? You know, these are people who've been waiting for a long time. They've been waiting since that FTX crash at the end of 2022, and they're going to get some stable coins. I'm willing to bet that they're going to buy some crypto with that. They're not just going to cash out, but they're going to buy crypto, especially because most people are saying that we're going to have this big blow off top at the end of 2025, and here we are in the middle of 2025. Excuse me. This makes sense for something, for a good amount of buying pressure to come, whether that's just more accumulation or whether that's that this is actually a bull trap. But $5 billion is not an insignificant amount. So keep that in mind. All right, that's all I have for crypto. Just another something that I resonated with. It doesn't really have anything to do with crypto, but if you want to make it about crypto, do you do you. Okay, normal people. I love this perspective. Time spent working for money, what, 99%? Time spent planning their investments, 1%, something like that. Normal people who build incredible amounts of wealth. Time spent working for money, more like 95%. Hello, Pac-Man. Time spent planning their investments, maybe like 5%. This might be true. And so, you know, I mean, we have crypto here. I'm getting pretty addicted to dividends. I've been buying a lot of good dividend yielding products, some ETFs and some stocks, and I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. And I'm buying my income. That's how I feel about it. I want to get to $100,000 of dividend ETFs. I'm not there yet. I want to get to $500,000. I think around $500,000, the amount that I would make on dividends alone would be over $100,000. I know that sounds crazy. That may not add up, but it not over 100,000, close to 100,000, more like maybe 70,000, based off of the instruments that I'm buying. And I'm really liking these instruments. So there's a planning thing, you know, planning your investments. Let's take a look at Ethereum. You know, this is why I'm hopeful for altcoins. Is, my goodness, this candle, this daily candle right here is just brutal. Oh man. Because it did look like at one point in the middle of the night, at least where I live, that we were about to break through. That's a nasty candle, a nasty wick. A lot of selling pressure on that, but you know, at $2,800 Ethereum, I thought maybe we're going to break through this, but we didn't. We lost that level. We lost the 200-day, lost the 2023 peak. At some point, we're going to break through, and it does look like the floor is rising. You know, I am not scared at 2,600 and change Ethereum. We could go to 2,500. We could go to 2,400. That wouldn't be scary to me. It does look like this breakthrough is going to happen. And when that happens, I mean, Bitcoin dominance does look like, it's too early to tell, but it does look like it's put in a lower high, and maybe now we're on our way to a lower low. That's a good sign for alts. It's a big reason why, yes, you know, I don't think it's a good idea to sell your altcoins. Day by day, it can be scary, but things are looking good right now, guys. I'm telling you. Let's survive whatever you want to make it through this next month. Maybe a little longer than that. We can do it. We can do it. All right. Anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of your week, and I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.